Hi, my name is Thilagavathi Murugesan. I am a lecturer of mathematics at Colorado State University, Pueblo. My lecture today is on graphing a straight line. The graph of a linear equation is a straight line. So I'm going to give you some examples now for linear equations. This is a linear equation in two variables, and the two variables are x and y. Next example. Phi y is equal to negative 7x plus 8. Another example. Y is equal to 1/2 x minus 3. And another example. Y is equal to negative 4x. I can give you one more example. 5x minus 7y is equal to 0. So these are all linear equations in two variables. Now you are going to see how to graph these type of linear equations. So I'm going to start with an example. So example 1, the question here is graph the linear equation y is equal to 4x minus 3 by plotting points. So I'm going to tell you how to graph this linear equation by using step-by-step process. Step number 1. Make sure your equation is in the form y is equal to mx plus b. So is this in the form y is equal to mx plus b? Yes, it is. So we do not need to do anything else for the first step for this problem. And then step number 2, we are going to find 3 ordered pairs using this equation. So those are going to be the solutions for this equation. How to find the 3 ordered pairs for this equation? Let me do it here. So the equation is y is equal to 4x minus 3. So I'm going to do a chart. To find the ordered pairs. So first I'm going to give some values for x, and then I'm going to find the values for y, corresponding values for y. And then I'm going to do the ordered pair x comma y. Okay? So we can choose any value x, positive, negative or 0. Any number you can give, like negative 100 or 150 or 0 or negative 1/2. It doesn't matter what value you give for x. So x you can give any value, and we are going to find the corresponding y value, and then we are going to do the ordered pair. So we need at least 3 ordered pairs to graph them and then graph this linear equation. So I'm going to choose some numbers. That would be easier to calculate. So I'm going to give x is equal to negative 1. So when x is equal to negative 1, what's your y? So let me write what your y is here. So y is equal to, so let's give value negative 1 for x. So 4 times negative 1 minus 3. So what is that value? 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. Negative 4 minus 3, negative 7. So when x is negative 1, your y is negative 7. Next, let's give 0 for x. So when x is 0, I'm going to find out what your y is. So y is equal to, plug in 0 for x in this equation. This is the equation we are going to graph. So we are going to plug in 0 in the place of x in the equation. So this is equal to 4 times 0 is 0. 0 minus 3, negative 3. So when x is 0, your y is negative 3. Next, let's give one more point, one more value for x. So x is equal to 1. So let's find out what your y is. So 4 times, in the place of x, I'm plugging in 1 minus 3. So 4 minus 3 is equal to 1. So 1, 1. So we have 3 ordered pairs. The next step is we are going to graph these ordered pairs on the rectangular coordinate system. So step 3. So all of you know what an x-axis is, y-axis is, origin is, and the quadrants. There are 4 quadrants: first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant. So this is the origin, that's the 0, 0, x is 0, y is 0, and we are going to plot these points, graph these ordered pairs, and then you will see how to graph the linear equation, because these are the solutions, 3 solutions. There are infinite number of solutions for this equation, because you can give any value for x, you can find a value for y, so you have infinite number of ordered pairs. So we have 3 ordered pairs, and I'm going to graph these ones first. So -1, -7. So let me do the scaling here. You have to be very careful when you plot points. So -1, -7, x -1, y -7, -1, -7. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is -7. It starts from -1. So x-axis, y-axis, -1, -7. So the point is going to be here. So -1, -7. Next is 0, -3. So 0, 0 is here, 0, -3. And then next point is 1, 1. So we are going to draw the graph. So step number 4, join those points and graph. So you get a straight line, okay? So if you use a graph paper, you will see the exact points, and the graph will be a perfect graph, okay? So this is how you graph a linear equation like y is equal to 4x minus 3. I'm going to do another example. Graph example 2. Graph 2x plus 3y is equal to 6 by plotting points. Again, this is, we are going to plot points and graph it. So what is the step number 1? Step number 1 is you have to write it in the form y is equal to mx plus b. So let's write it in the form y is equal to mx plus b. So here the equation is 2x plus 3y is equal to 6. So now to write y is equal to mx plus b, then what you do, you need to solve for y. So we need y alone on one side. So 3y, we have to subtract 2x both sides. 3y is equal to, so I'm going to write the x first and then the constant second. And then next is we are looking for y alone, so divide both sides by 3. So now we have 3y over 3 is equal to y. Here we have negative 2/3 x. Here 6 over 3, 2. So we solved for y in terms of x. Y is equal to negative 2/3 x plus 2. So now we are going to graph this. So we finished step number 1. Step number 2 is we need at least 3 ordered pairs to graph this linear equation. So I am going to find 3 ordered pairs. So step number 2. So I am going to do the chart again, x value, and we are going to find y, and let me write y is equal to negative 2/3 x plus 2, and the ordered pair is x comma y. So I am going to give some value for x and then find the corresponding value of y, and then I am going to do the ordered pair. So here we have y is this. So I am just looking at this, what value I am going to give for x. I am going to choose negative 3 so that it will make it easier for us, because in some quizzes and exams you are not allowed to use a calculator. Actually in 198, you are in 198, you are not allowed to use a calculator for any quizzes or exams. So here you may think of some numbers that would be easier for you to see. So here we have, when we plug in x is equal to negative 3 or positive 3 or negative 6, positive 6, multiples of 3 if you give, it would be easier. So I am going to give x is equal to negative 3 first. So y is equal to negative 2/3, x is negative 3 plus 2. So this is equal to, here negative, this is negative 2 times negative 3 over 3 is 2, positive 2 plus 2, 4. So here we have negative 3 comma, when x is negative 3, your y is 4. Next is, I am going to give x is equal to 0. When x is 0, here we have y is equal to, so I am going to plug in x is 0, so x is 0. Anything times 0 is 0. So let me write it here. So anything times 0 is 0, 0 plus 2, 2. So when x is 0, your y is 2. Next I am going to give 3. So now it's easier for you. So this is negative 2, negative 2/3 times 3, negative 2 plus 2, because this is negative 6 over 3, negative 2. So this is equal to 0. So when x is 3, your y is 0. So we found 3 ordered pairs. I am going to graph these ordered pairs and graph the linear equation. And what kind of a graph you will expect? Graph of a linear equation is going to be a straight line. So let's do the let's graph these ordered pairs. X-axis, y-axis. This is the origin, and I'm just looking at the ordered pairs. So let's mark these numbers here. Okay, now let's plot those points. Negative 3 comma positive 4, negative 3 positive 4. It's going to be here. X is negative 3, y is 4. 0 comma positive 2, 0 comma positive 2. 3 comma 0, positive 3 comma 0. So the graph is going to be, join all of these 3 points. So that is the graph of 2x plus 3y is equal to 6. It's the same as y is equal to negative 2/3 x plus 2. So that's the equation of this linear equation. Like I said, you know, when you are working on the worksheet problems, you will be able to solve for y first, and then you will be able to plot, find the ordered pairs, and then graph those ordered pairs, join those points, and you get the graph of the linear equation. Like I always say, you have to solve a lot of problems, different types of problems. to do your exams and quizzes well. So let's see. I'm going to choose another problem. You may see problems like this. Here the question is, in the previous problem, 2 problems you saw graph a linear equation by plotting points. Here the question is graph 3x plus y is equal to 6 using x and y intercepts. So x and y intercepts. All of you know what an x-intercept is, what an y-intercept is. We are asked to use the x and y intercepts to graph this. So let me refresh your memory. The x-intercept is, let's say this is your x-axis, y-axis. The x-intercept is where the graph crosses the x-axis. So let's say this is a graph. So this is a graph of a linear function. Where does this graph crosses the x-axis? Let's say it is like a 3. This is 4. So the graph crosses the x-axis at x is equal to 3. So here x is 3. What's your y? Along the x-axis, here your x is 3. What's your y? Y is 0. And the graph crosses the y-axis here, and here y is equal to 4. What's your x? X is 0. So 0, 4 is your y-intercept. 3, 0 is the x-intercept. So that's an example. So here you are asked to graph this by using x and y-intercepts. So we have to find out x and y-intercepts, plot those ordered pairs, and then we have to graph. So let's find out the x and y-intercepts. So step 1, find the x-intercept. The x-intercept. So you just saw the x-intercept is, your y is 0. So we are going to find out what the x-intercept is for this equation. So we are going to let y is equal to 0. We are finding the x-intercept. So we have to let y is equal to 0. Solve for x, you get the x-intercept. So I'm going to let y is equal to 0. So let me substitute y as 0. So that's 3x plus y is 0. 3x plus 0, 3x. Now we are solving for x. We are finding what x is. So here we have to divide by 3 both sides. So x is equal to 2. So y is 0. When y is 0, your x is equal to 2. So the x-intercept is x is 2, y is 0. Now let's find out the y-intercept. So step number 2, we are going to find out the y-intercept. So here the equation is 3x plus y is equal to 6. So you just saw an example to find the y-intercept. What your x is? X is 0. So we are going to let x 0. So here let's substitute 0 for x, and we are going to solve for y. So 3 times 0 is 0. 0 plus y is equal to 6. So 0 plus y is y. Y is equal to 6. So when x is 0, your y is 6. So now let's write down here. So your y-intercept is, when x is 0, y is 6. So we have x-intercept and y-intercept. How many ordered pairs did we find to graph a linear equation in the previous 2 problems? We found 3 ordered pairs. So we need at least 3 ordered pairs to graph a linear equation. So let's find out another point, just a checkpoint. So step number 3, one more ordered pair. Let's find one more ordered pair. So we can give any value for x and find the value of y. So let x is equal to 1, and let's use the equation again to find your y. So x is equal to 1. So 3 times 1 plus y is equal to 6. So 3 times 1 is 3. So you are subtract 3 both sides. We are solving for y. Subtract 3 both sides, so you get 3. So when x is 1, your y is 3. So we found the third ordered pair. So we have 3 ordered pairs. Now we are going to graph this equation, linear equation. So x-axis, y-axis, origin. So now let's do the scaling first. So 2, 0, positive 2, 0, that point is going to be here. 0, positive 6, your y is 6, when x is 0, your y is 6. So that's 0, positive 6. And then next is 1, 3. 1, 1, 2, 3. You see already, they all, when you join those points, you get a line, a straight line. So this is the equation of 3x plus y is equal to 6. So now you know how to find 3 ordered pairs and graph any linear equation. Here the question is graph, example 4, graph x is equal to 4. X is equal to 4. So what you do, draw the x-axis, y-axis, and let's do this. X is equal to 4. So where x is 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. X is equal to 4. What's your y? Y can be any number and x is 4. So here when you choose for y 1, 2, 3 or -1, -2, -3, for all of the values your x is going to be 4. So all of the points are going to be here. So infinite number of points you can find out. So the graph is going to pass through this 4, and that is a vertical line. So let me mark the 4 here. So that is the graph of x is equal to 4. So now let's graph another problem. Graph y is equal to -2. So here you see y is equal to -2. So you are asked to graph this, and we need this x-axis, y-axis, and then now here you are looking at the problem. So there it is, y is equal to -2. So what does it mean? Y is -2 for any x. So where is your y -2? So here -2 we have. So for any x, your y is going to be -2. So your graph is going to be, so this is the graph of y is equal to -2. So now you know what linear equations are and how to graph linear equations. And you saw like 3 or 4 different methods today. One was like with like in this form ax plus by is equal to c. You saw in this form, and another one you saw y is equal to mx plus b. And if you are given in this form, when you plot points, you brought it to this form, y is equal to mx plus b form, and then you found 3 ordered pairs, and then you plot those points, and then you graph. And also you now know how to graph linear equations by using x and y intercepts, and also equations like x is equal to a constant or y is equal to a constant. X is equal to 4 in this case, y is equal to -2. So now you know how to graph all different types of linear equations, and also you know that the graph of a linear equation is a straight line. So let's talk about a lot of more problems in the next class. Like I said, I will give you a worksheet afterwards, and you can work on those problems. And like I said, you can always ask me questions, and I would be happy to help you in the class or at my office. Okay. Have a great day. Thank you.